Hey Chip, we're going to recap the slip I sent out yesterday, and obviously this football game didn't start yet, so this bond play, nothing happened yet. It doesn't even matter because Jordan Goodwin, I don't even know who this guy is. He ends up doubling his points line on the nose. He gets 15, so absolutely kills that line. A lot of books had him at 6.5, and there was obviously heavy juice to his under 7.5, and just a heavy underdog to his over 7.5. So we had to play this in the slip. It was one of the top tools all day. Unfortunately, this didn't go through. Our play of the day did go through with Shea, way under 5 rebounds. So the read there was right. OKC versus Phoenix. It was going to be a blowout as the books correctly predicted. What is this, 39 points, 49 point blowout. So I mean, that's just disastrous. So obviously Shea probably didn't see as much of the floor, therefore not getting as many rebound opportunities. So play of the day cash, there's no excuses here. Another slip chalks. This is gonna bring us to 18.25 units in the green still. So again, I told you guys we did have some stuff to work with, because once we hit one of these 3-mans or whatever for 6x, you're up 5 units, and then you pretty much erase all your reds, all your losing slips. And that's kind of the idea when playing these apps like Prizepicks. Like, you want to get in volume. You will lose more than you win. That's guaranteed. The volume that you lose is heavier when you do win. And let's say you hit like a big slip, which is usually what I send out. I like to target the 3 power plays or the 5 or 6 man flexes, mathematically most profitable. When you do hit, it erases all your losses and then puts you even more in the green. So that's how we're still 18 units in the green, which is insane. You bet $100 since the start of this channel on these 3-mans that I've been sending out, you would be up $1,800. Just to tell you guys, like, you're waiting on a green slip, and with the tools and everything and strategies, it's bound to come and just continue to put you in profit. So it's more of a long game. I'll tell you this right now. If you can't stand seeing red, and if you're just allergic to losing anything in your life, any slip, whatever, I have to strongly advise you to click off this video right now. I'm not selling a program where it's like, not selling tools or a program telling you you're gonna win every single pick that I give out. Obviously, you guys already see that's not the case, and that's never what I promised. That when you're on these tools, it's just showing you the percentage of individual plays to hit. So I always say it like this. I could give an example right away. Let's say this Durant play rebounds, right? 53.8% in the green. So you could just picture it like this. If Durant plays in 100 games versus the Clippers 100 times over with all the same conditions in this game, all the players that are starting, everyone on the bench stays on the bench, all the players that are inactive obviously don't play, they stay inactive, all that stuff, all conditions kept constant throughout these 100 games. So he plays it 100 times over. He is projected to cash in 53.8 times, or 53.8% of those games, right? So around 54 out of 100 games, he's gonna go under this rebound line, and in 47 or in 46 of those games, he's gonna go over this rebound line. That's just, we're calculating probabilities, just expectations. So do not expect him at every single one of these times, right? Every single one of those games. So I feel like I have to reiterate that, because people just think it's like automatic. Listen, if these were 100% hit rates, I think everybody in the world would be doing this. So just keep that in mind when we're going through these slips. With that disclaimer aside, we could finally get into the great part of the videos. We're going to build a slip here on this Thursday slate. We'll see what we got. We got a bit more NBA action today. I've been a bit mad for this past week. We've been losing. I mean, just the slate and the value on the board has been suboptimal. Not that much stuff popping in. I know not as much things as I would have liked. Hold on, I have to usually explain the tools. I see a play here I might want to get in on NFL. Hold on. Antoine, is this guy still up? He just got bumped, unfortunately. I wanted to play this at 6.5 under. He got bumped to 6. That was a purple play. Would have been awesome. Anyway, we are playing with the Parlayers tools here. We got first the player prop optimizer, comparing the Prizepicks lines back to other apps like Prizepicks and major sportsbooks across the market to see where we could find the best discrepancies in the lines and the best values, whether to take an over or an under on a Prizepicks play. We also got the same rules for underdog and pick 6. So those are just, again, other apps like Prizepicks. And then we got the sharp money tool, where comparing the Prizepicks lines back to peer-to-peer exchanges like Novig, like ProfitX, so we could see where very sharp bettors using very advanced projections and models, we could see where they're betting their money, right? So here I explain that more in the tutorial video that's pinned on the channel if you guys are curious on how to break down what this data means. Basically, this column here is telling us that the sharp bettors are betting against these lines. So you're going to see that there's obviously a lot of plus lines here, meaning that they're less likely to hit. Sharp bettors do not want to be on plus sides. They don't want to be taking underdogs in the game. They want to be on the more comfortable favored side, which is where we want to be, right? So instead of following these lines here, these are just telling us that the opposite directions are very unlikely to hit, meaning that you want to be on the favored directions on the opposite side. See what I can cook up for you guys off bat. And right away, I'm seeing this Anthony Simons play from the Celtics, assist under 2.5. He's a plus 130 underdog on Novig's under, so on Novig's over, sorry. So as I just explained, if Novig's showing us an over here for very high plus odds, you want to be on his opposite direction, and it matches because we're getting a minus 133 consensus odds favorite on his under. This is a side you want to be on. It's a green play. You see a bunch of books have him minus 130 or stronger to go under, and we even have Caesars here going to act as our best point of confidence at a minus 150 on his under. So that's going to be enough for us to play it in our slip. I'm going to just cross-reference with the other tool on the optimizer to see that he's not offered on Underdog Fantasy, not offered on Pick 6. Cool. That means he's not offered there for full price. They're either discounting his line or they just removed it completely because it was too juiced, too favored on his under. We will still see if it's on the board. For Prizepicks, it is. The last 5 here. So he's hovering around this line. Not too bad. Pretty much split down the middle. And this will be our first play of the day. So Anthony Simons under 2.5. Check Prizepicks. Also, it's another app like, it's another app like Novig, or another peer-to-peer exchange like Novig. So basically, same idea here. You see a high plus line in this column. You want to be in the opposite direction. And here we have Jonathan Taylor from the Colts, receptions under 2.5. He's a purple play here. So you see here, huge juice, minus 160 ESPN bet, minus 154 on FanDuel for him to go under 2.5 receptions. And he's a plus 108 underdog on Prizepicks to go over. So obviously we want to be on his underside in accordance with the market. If he's still here, it would be awesome to take him. Of course, he's not. Like you see here, this is what I mean when he's not offered on these platforms, because they just reduce him to a payout or whatever. I don't want to take these goblins or demons or anything that's going to alter my payout at the end of the day. If I'm making a 3-man, I want my full 6x. That's kind of the premise of the fixed payout systems. Obviously, Prizepicks has gotten smarter along with these other apps, and I've started putting these discount multipliers on favored plays. Personally think it takes away from the whole, again, fixed payout systems, because now they're not fixed. You're altering payouts. That's just my opinion. So I'm actually liking Kevin Durant here in this game against the Clippers, right? I mentioned it before actually in the example, which is funny enough. We are going to end up playing this rebounds under 4.5 play. It's a green play, minus 134 odds to hit. His overs a plus 110 on Novig. So they're basically saying it's, so instead of them charging 10 cents on the dollar to take that play on the peer-to-peer exchange on their platform, you're basically getting 10 cents on the dollar for you to play it. So anytime you're getting more incentive to take a play, that's probably should be giving you like red flags saying, okay, this is not a favored play for me. People are paying you to take something off their hands. Most likely it's not something good. That's just the logic here, right? If it's a high plus line, we want to stay away from these as much as possible. So we are going to stick to the underside on this Kevin Durant play, minus 134 across the market. I'm just going to see here the best book. It looks like it is going to be DraftKings at a minus 130 and it's under. Another huge point of confidence here that I'm getting is that I actually just got cleared to return to this game. I'm not sure if tonight he's returning or he already returned. He is active tonight regardless, so hopefully he will be taking a lot of those rebound duties and a lot of those rebound opportunities away from Durant in this game. The Rockets are, I believe, 10-point favorites, so that helps as well if Durant doesn't have to see as much of the floor. Something tells me it's going to be a closer game than that. If the Clippers obviously are fully healthy with Kawhi and all them, I think they are, so it probably would be a closer game. I still do like this Durant play, especially considering the fact that Sengun is back. And Durant doesn't really have to worry too much about the rebounds if Sengun's on the floor at the same time, which they are because they're both in the starting 5. So Simons under 2.5 assists. We have Durant under 4.5 rebounds, and actually will not have to go too far for this next play. It's going to be Keegan Murray in the Sacramento game under 17.5 points. Right away, I could just check the alternate lines. I show you guys that you want to check these just for reference. So we see here, Prizepicks actually slapped 2 demons on his subsequent lines at 18.5 and at 19.5. So basically what they're saying at 19.5 is that, look, he's going for 19 or less points. He's favored to do so. Then they even doubled down and said he's favored to go under 18.5, so it's 18 or less points. And because we have those 2 nearest demon projections at these lines, we know that Prizepicks is telling us that he's super favored to go for 18 or less points. And because we have him over 17.5, this is giving us more confidence from the Prizepicks end. Let's see what the exchanges have to say. So look, it's a yellow play, but still, he's a plus 120 to 1 is over on Novig. So you're getting 22 cents on the dollar if you bet this over on Novig. That should already tell you, red flag goes up. No, this is not a good play to take. You want to stay away from these overs. You want to be on his under. This is where the sharp bettors are playing their money at, the under 17.5, right? Minus 124 across the market, because when he is offered at 17.5, he's around that minus 124 mark. Look at these discrepancies, guys. There's a lot of books offering him at 16.5. So we're already getting his highest projection at 17.5. And because we're getting this highest projection, I like to call it the ceiling projection, you get this highest one on the market, we could bet his under comfortably. I'm just gonna cross-reference again with the optimizer. He should be, here he is. And look, I was just telling you guys, a lot of books have him at 16.5 already. And look at this, Underdog Fantasy also thinks he should be fairly priced at 16.5. So when it pops up in this column on the optimizer, it's because Underdog has him at that 16.5 mark for full payout on his over or under. So they're not discounting it. If that was the case, it wouldn't be offered like in these other columns here. Like you see Pick 6 not here, so he's probably been removed. Pick 6 doesn't discount many plays. It's either he's been discounted on his under 17.5 points, so they're paying you less than a 1x full payout, or they just removed the line completely because again, it's favored to go under, and a lot of books are pricing him at 1 point less at 16.5. So as I'm yapping, they actually just bumped it down to 16.5 to kind of catch up with the rest of the market. And I'm kind of happy that it happened now, because by the time I would have got out this video, like if I stopped recording and this bumped, it would have just been a mess. You guys would have been stuck with 2 good plays rather than the 3 that I want to give you. So regardless, that was a good play. So you could take that as a little lesson. I should take that as a lesson, basically telling me to hurry up, because Prizepicks is not playing around today. I gotta move a bit quicker here on these plays to get in the last one. All right, guys, last play I just came up on. It is gonna be again part of this Boston game. I don't like playing players in the same game unless it's kind of that correlation. Regardless, we're gonna run with this Bobby Portis play under 7 on Prizepicks, under 7 rebounds on Prizepicks, minus 104. So whenever you see this minus line in this column, when you're comparing it to push props, like props not ending in 0.5, like this one, it's a whole number. That means there's juice, there's vig that books are charging for him to go for 6 or less rebounds. And that's exactly what we need for him to green out and cash this play, right? So you see here, automatic, FanDuel has him at minus 114 on both his over-unders. They're telling you it's basically a 50-50 for him to go for 7 rebounds or for 6 rebounds, right? So we obviously want to be on that other side because it's a push prop. We're very, very happy looking at this 50-50. I see even other books having some minus lines, some juice to his under 6.5. And this is what we need, because in the worst case of a push prop, technically, the books are saying that he's super favored to finish with 7 by the time the game ends, and that would just gray out the prop. Because there's minus line, because there's minus lines here, there's juice going to his under 6.5. If he finishes with 6 or less, we green out the play, right? So we would end up just cashing out that play. And I'll check his last 5. It's looking good. It's looking good so far. I know he actually might have got bumped out to the second unit. So like I was mentioning before, so he might have got bumped out to the second unit. If he could somewhat, I think it's the Bucks. Yeah, the Bucks are going to be the underdogs here. So if they could keep it close against the Celtics, then Portis would not see the floor as much. Same deal with Simons. He's also coming off the bench. So if both these bench players don't have a big role in this game, it's very likely they get less assist opportunities and rebound opportunities for them to go under. So this will round off our slip. Really liking this juice here on the under Bobby Portis, and FanDuel having him basically as a 50-50 for him to go for 6 or 7 rebounds. So that's going to be big here. So recap, Simons under 2.5 dimes, Durant under 4.5 rebounds, Bobby Portis 7 rebounds under. We couldn't get in that play of the day on Keegan Murray at the 17.5 mark. Again, you guys should be following all the socials so you get free plays, free breakdowns, even if they're not in these videos. And as always, keep the bell on for the channel so you get notified of when I drop these slips as soon as possible, so you don't face any bumps that you're already seeing while I'm recording the videos. And lastly, I am limited on this account, so I will only be able to put $5 in. You guys are more than welcome to put more unit size down on the slip. Just do not bet your whole bankroll on each slips, okay? With that being said, I'm gonna wrap this up and I'll recap in tomorrow's video. Take it easy.